Well, Happy New Year to all the subscribers and everybody on the channel. It's the first day back, and I'm in rainy Bolton, and I've just had an hour and a half's drive across the tops. Well, not so much tops on M62, and it were all right. It was a nice drive, and I weren't looking forward to it. So the last job that we did before Christmas, we're in Wigan, and now I'm in Bolton. I don't know what it is with Lancashire. Your people in Lancashire, you must not have any decent damp proofers. So he just decided to have me out here. So this morning's job, I set off at 6:30 this morning, and I didn't know how long it was going to take. I thought it was going to take about 2.5 hours or 2 hours and a quarter, which is what it took when we went to Wigan just before Christmas. We set off, and then I saw that I was going to get here for like 7:45. So I decided to just find out where it nearest Costa was and come and have a coffee first. I think they're expecting me around about 10 o'clock. And I'm early, and I drove to house, and it were all in darkness, and I thought I don't want to be knocking them up and that they've not brushed their teeth and they've not washed and stuff. So I'll give them another hour, and then I'll go and have a look. So it's a survey what we initially got booked for. The guy's got book mites. So any types of mites and things like that, any types of wood boring insects, mites, things like that, there's usually a source of moisture. So he couldn't get to the bottom of it. And I've seen it's a fairly modern building. It's I think they're built in 90s or something like that. So there's definitely a source of moisture somewhere. And then they contacted me just before Christmas and said they'd found that they'd got a leak, so they've got source of moisture, but this plasterboard wants cutting out, so would I be able to fetch some stuff and do it, which I'm not looking forward to, because I just know it's going to be, I'm going to put a bit of skimming on, and it's going to be a 3-hour job waiting for finish to set. So I've fetched a load of stuff. I've got an insulated plasterboard, so I can, if it's only a thin board, I can sort of whip foam off the back and stick it in. But I've also fetched some isotherm, because I have a feeling that if board's just been wet, then we can sort of put some isotherm over the top, and I can just skim straight away. But I've fetched some foam, I've fetched a bit of everything. And I know where Wixers is, because it's Costa's here, and then I'm smack next to Wixers, so it's about 2 miles away from the job. So it's not a hard job today, but it's first day back, and it's always it's always one of them in it where you're just like, chuffing now. First day back after you've had we've not had full two weeks off, or I've not had full 2 weeks off. But it's always best to get back into it. And then tomorrow we start, apprentices back tomorrow, Nixon. So we start in a job at Cudworth. Again, it's not a massive job, but it'll ease us back into it. And then I've got some reports to write. So I did a report mid Christmas and New Year. I went and did a report for a survey, and I've got to type report up for a guy that were in Mexborough. And I initially went to look at just a chimney breast. So he sent me pictures of 2 chimney breasts, guy from London, and and I identified that it got sulfate salts on bottom, though no vent in it and that. So I thought it's going to be, it's not going to be a hard job to diagnose. And when I got there, he's bought it at auction, and he's bought property at auction, poor lad. And he said he'd been up to look at it, and while I was there, I says I'll have a look round. Every wall on ground floor is damp, and then its cellar, which were a low cellar, there was some standing water, and apparently he was talking to a guy who lived next door, and apparently there's either a stream runs through or something, and all cellars flood every now and again. Timbers were just rotten. So I said I hate to be bearer of bad news, but it looks like you've got some decay. You might have to have a new floor, so he might be looking at some costs that he probably not thought of when he first bought property. Last night, absolutely banging it down when I went to bed. I could hear it rain on ceiling, not ceiling, on roof. If it weren't ceiling, I'd be in trouble, wouldn't I? I could hear it on roof, and we've got like sort of insulation and there's a roof space, so it must have been coming down heavy. And then I've come here and it looks like they're getting it here as well. So I know, good news for me, because while ever there's rain, if you're in preservation, there'll always be work. Horrible for other people. It's not nice for brickies. They're judged by whether they can't work if it's like this, unless they've got some inside work to do. But yeah, so choose your occupations wisely. Guys who are doing external renders can't work in this. Roofers probably can do a bit, but you know what I mean. If it's hammering it down like this, can't do it. Bricklayers who's outside can't work. We work all year round. We never stop. There's always some type of preservation work that needs doing. Whether if you've got humid conditions, if it's red hot, and then you get flash floods, there's a chance that if you've got like subfloors and dark areas, then there's a chance you can get dry rot outbreaks, damp timbers, things like that. So it's a good industry to be in. So I think I've said Happy New Year to you all. I hope that this year is going to bring things that you need. And listen, some people get sick of people saying Happy New Year and being positive and stuff like that. And I get it, because some people said a shit year. So you only look on social media and you see people saying, I hope this year does one and all this, and next year's going to be better. Yeah, so some people tend to, have one thing after another going wrong. So, and I listen, I don't know what to say about that, but, and I don't want to be one of these that's going to say you've got to be positive, because it's hard when things are going wrong, I suppose. But, yeah, and I wanted to say stay positive, but it's like, if you're a happy clapper and you're positive all the time, then it'll get you get bored. You know what I mean? It's like if you live in a hot country and it's boiling all the time. You know what I mean? You just get fed up at weather, wouldn't you? At least in our country, we get rain, bit of snow, bit of weather, bit of clear skies. You get a bit of everything, and that's a bit like life. So you up and down. I mean, some people like it when it's like this, but I wouldn't want it to be like this all the time, because it just makes going to work harder. Especially, I mean, what time is it now? It's about 8:15. No, it ain't. What time is it? It's not quite. No, it said 9:49. I think that's just how long I've been on feed. But yeah, so, and it's not even got lead. And if it's going to be like this all day, I don't think it'll ever get lead all day. But I just thought I'd come on and just say, it's first day of work for us. I mean, a lot of people still off, still have another week off. And this is why they have holiday adverts on telly, because they know that people will start thinking about the holidays, especially when weather's shit like this. And then that's when they book them. And they say that you've got, you know, so much % off, but have they really? You know what I mean? Do they add it on and then take it off? Bit like some unscrupulous preservation companies who tell you that the free surveys, but it gets added on somewhere. It gets added on somewhere. Go with a company that's transparent. We charge for ours, charge for the surveys. There's no added on. And we charge for a reason, because it's separate. It is separate work. So just bear that in mind. And I'll bid you a good day until I get on next then. So yeah, first video at year, and I'll try and get a few more done across here. So yeah, and other thing as well, if you have got damp issues, stick your questions in comments. I always try and answer questions on YouTube. So listen, if you're a bell end, don't bother watching the channel. That's all I'll say, because I'll answer questions on that's put on our channel, and if I've not answered, it's because my settings are such that I only answer questions. I don't get answers, so I don't get responses. So I'll answer one question, and whatever it is, that's what answer you get, and I don't see response. I don't see your response. And we have had quite a few bell ends on. Do you know what I mean? So absolute bell ends asking questions. 99% of people are brilliant, and we love you to bits, but there's always that 1%. And listen, we get that there's haters in everything, but I started this channel so I could help people, and majority of videos that we do is showing people, giving our industry a bit of transparency. So I'm showing people how we do things and showing people modern methods. So all who are into fucking lime plastering, who think that's be all and end all, and you all live in your houses with gypsum because you can't afford a fucking proper traditional house, and that's why you're all pissed off. Fuck off and go on another channel. You know, go watch a channel on lime plastering. So there's modern methods, because everybody deserves to live in a damp-free property, and gypsum plastering has its place, and we know that, and traditional lime plastering has its place, which is usually in, you know, listed buildings, and that's why it's so fucking expensive, and that's why it takes so long to do. And I'm not saying it's bad, but what I'm saying is these modern methods that people can use that's cheaper and more accessible, and this is what we kind of show you, and we show you how to do it, how to fit them and that. And if it's something that you disagree with, don't watch. There's an off button. Don't watch me, you know what I mean? So just turn off button. So that could be a New Year's resolution. But and I get that I'm a good looking bloke, and some people want to see me on film. I bet. So there you go. So moving forward, all your fucking lime people who disagree with everything I say, don't watch videos, right? Because it's, you know what I mean, it's only making you, it's winding you up. So just don't watch videos. Yeah, and a lot of my answers and stuff, I try to help people, but a lot of probably tongue in cheek anyway. So if you enjoy videos, keep watching. If you don't enjoy them, fuck off. All right. So that's Damp Sam signing off. I'll try and do a few more videos through here, and I'll try and mix them up. So this year I'll probably try and do a lot more with a show. A show is on site, and I'll kind of put them together. See you next then, if I can find Bolton, you know, up here.